Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2020, another part of this series where we are with Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. And as you might be able to tell from this screen, there's not as much green coming from the team as there was last season. When we left off last time, we had just managed to beat Liverpool 2-0 in the league after a 2-1 defeat against Atletico Madrid. We then followed that up with a 5-1 win over Rotherham in the EFL Cup, and after two straight wins you're starting to think maybe our luck is turning around, but that very much was not the actual case. To begin with, we go a goal behind, Lindsay puts the ball in and Leko benefits from the loose ball. You start to think the worst here, but Bernard a couple of minutes later swings the ball in. It comes to Matthias Henrique, who lays it off for Kenner. And he gets a good finish. The two midfielders linking up in the centre. Shackleton then with a ball over the top. Jenner gets in behind and a very good finish from him for 2-1. Shackleton again puts the ball in and Andre can't do the job. Neither could Jenner. And then Chukwueze with the finish. Andre tackled, keeps the ball, puts it in, and Chukwueze ultimately benefits after a little bit of pinball inside the 6-yard box, and then late on 93rd minute Kenner pulls it into the back of the area and Andre with the header, or the back of the 6-yard area, and Andre with the header makes it 5-1 for a good win. But then we go on a run of results up to this United game that have me seriously questioning the mentality of this team. This is 6 matches where we got 1 win, and we were playing Brighton, Shakhtar, Norwich, Bristol, Eintracht Frankfurt and Manchester United. It was absolutely unacceptable, and there were serious consequences for a lot of these results. So we'll start off with this Brighton game, which was extremely frustrating to be a manager for. It looked at 1 or 2 points that we might actually go on and win this game, but we went behind quite early on in the game, 26 minutes in, as Montiel put the ball in and Jonathan Calleri, who's a good striker in FM, gave them the lead. And Barry then led the charge for the equaliser. A beautiful run, lofted it to the far side, and Dele Alli plants a header in to make it 1-1. And Barry from a corner comes to Bellingham, and after 2 bites of the cherry, he does give us the lead. They get another goal back. Calleri laying it off to Kjaer, out to Ortega. He cuts inside, and Onana may as well have not been there. He just allows the ball in for 2-2. But it's okay, we make it 3-2, we get the lead again with 15 minutes to go. Jenner swings it over and Dele Alli with another header to give us a lead. But then in the 93rd minute, we give the ball away in defence. Ortega runs in, finds Coman, and that's a stunning finish from Coman. Not the corner you expected it to go, but it finished up in a 3-3 draw. But it's okay, we bounce back in the next game with a 7-1 victory over Shakhtar Donetsk. 7-1 we win this game, and you really do start to think, okay, now it's going to change. Again, we go behind though, and it forces a reaction from the team, and Beret puts the ball in and Lorenzo gets the first goal for us, making it 1-1. Bernard then with the throw comes to Daniel, a massive £98 million signing, and he gives us a lead. He then charges forward with the ball, gets tackled, but Beret puts it over for Jana and he makes it 3-1. Daniel again involved. He's starting to really turn into a top quality midfielder as we expected him to. Ultimately, Ambere benefits from this one with the volley. Sazal throws the ball in. Kane's in there for an easy finish. The long throw and finish technique. And then in the second half, just a couple of goals. Kenner to David Neres. Andre holding the ball up and teeing up Mason Greenwood, who finally scores this season after a long spell without a goal. Sazal then with a long throw comes out. Bernat doesn't clear it, but Ambere puts it into Greenwood for a second of the night to make it 7-1. So we did manage to come back with a win, but then it gets really, really disappointing very quickly. Starting off with a 2-2 draw against Norwich, which was very frustrating. We twice took the lead. Oh no, we went 2-0 up and were then pegged back to 2-2. So we start off well. Bernard just before half time. Ball comes out to Daniel and his effort is stunning into the top corner, showing why he was worth so much money. Kane then, consistent from the penalty spot, makes it 2-0. But just before the hour, ball over the top and our former player Osimhen from Ajax makes it 2-1. And then late on the ball goes forward to Osimhen again. Olsen past Diaz and slots it past the keeper. 10 minutes to go, and it finishes 2-2. So a disappointing 2 points dropped. But then we play the bottom club, Bristol, and we think, well, that won't happen against Bristol, surely not. But actually, we went one step worse, and instead of taking a 2-0 lead, we took a 2-0 deficit against Bristol, starting off with Semedo, out to Fockett. Semedo to the edge of the area, puts it in, and Fisher, with the header, makes it 1-0. And then Mitrovic with a penalty just after half-time as well, makes it 2-0. We do manage to get one back just before the hour, though, and Beret benefiting from balls hitting the woodwork, and Greenwood with an excellent free kick does make it 2-2. He started to get a few goals around that time, but it wasn't helping us very much. And it got even worse. It gets progressively worse, really, when you're having a bad run in football. And it really peaked against Eintracht Frankfurt, who beat us 3-1. Obviously a team we should be comfortably beating. But they take the lead. Doan in to Benedetti, and Seifert with the finish for 1-0. They make it 2-0 when Doan puts it in, and a header from Seifert gives him his second. We do manage to pull one back. David Neres on the attack to get an all-important goal when Ambere finishes. He's scoring quite a few this season. Not that many of our players are getting that many goals, but late on, any hope of a comeback taken away when Seifert completes his hat-trick for 3-1 to Eintracht Frankfurt. We then go to Manchester United in the league, and it's another disappointing defeat. Again, we dominated. It looked like we were clearly going to win it. The first half was amazing from the team, except for the lack of goals. But the second half, really just this highlight, and it was a smash and grab for United. Martial hits the post, but Olmo is there for 1-0. And we lose 2 games in a row, and we go 4 games without a win. And I make some changes around this time. It's fair to say things happened. Mainly, I picked out all the players that I don't really like, and I dropped them to the under-23s. Quite a few players were unhappy about that, came to complain. So other people were sold. And then I kind of panicked and spent an enormous amount of money on players that I know are really good. So be prepared for the £200 million worth of signings that were made. But more than that, we had to pay for those players. So, starting off, Jamie Shackleton, the first player to leave. He's gone for £40 million to Manchester United. A little bit of a cut price fee, but he's not actually that great a player. Doesn't really feature too often for the club, so I thought 40 million is a fair amount of money. And if he takes up a place in the United 11, that's only good for me. The real big transfer was Samuel Chukwueze. He went for 67 million to Beijing, which I thought was a fantastic bit of business. Huge profit on the 43.5 that was paid for him. He'll go in January. Again, not a player that played consistently for me either this season or last season. So I have no hesitation in letting him go for that kind of money. Anthony, we've taken a little bit of a loss. The first player I think we've taken a loss on, he's gone for 30 million after being signed for 35, but he did get 4 in 5 in the games that he played. So I don't think that's a bad bit of business. He did the job that was needed of him when it was needed. And finally, Dele Alli, a player that I've never really wanted in my team, has gone for 30 million to Barcelona. Not bad for a 29-year-old English player. I'm not sure the fans will be happy, but he's gone. £25 million profit on him as well. So the club's still making profit. Now the players I brought in, not a lot of surprises. The first one, Ansu Fati, is coming in for £62 million. He is an inverted winger and an inside forward, plays in the right position. He's got wonderful stats, wonderful physicals, a fantastic record. We had a real problem on that left side, and Ansu Fati is absolutely going to fix that problem. And the other one, for the third time, I have signed Sebastiano Esposito. He's only 23 years old, but his club history looks quite a bit like my club history. Coming in to Ajax, he was absolutely exceptional for us, 26 and 23, scoring a goal a game in the Eredivisie. We then took him to Barcelona for £120 million. He went out on loan to Bayern Munich last season, and look at that record, 25 and 33, showing he can still do the job. He didn't set Barcelona alight because he was in competition with Messi, Griezmann and Mbappe, and he is not your first choice out of that list of 4 players, but he is a wonderful advanced forward. He's going to come in, join Harry Kane up front, and between Ansu Fati and Sebastiano Esposito, I'm pretty sure we can fix the problems we're having now, and I think it's a fair trade of players in, players out, especially as it leaves us with 100 million and a massive wage budget available in January if we need to. So I think it's a really good bit of business. It helps fix the club a little bit more. I think we still need to work on these defenders if we can, but it might just be a case of more time and one centre back. We also need to bring in a replacement for Onana at some point, because he doesn't fill me with confidence, and that was the same when I was at Ajax as well. So some changes are coming, but if we have a quick look at the squad schedule from where we started to make those changes, they happened just before this QPR game, so a bit of a reaction of the players being dumped into the under-23s did happen. And against QPR, of course, it's a bit of a rotated team, but we did start to come back. And Berre with the ball in, Lorenzo on the line, managed to get the goal to make it 1-0. Koulibaly then sent the ball forward down the left flank, Greenwood over the top, and Xerxes in behind with the finish for 2-0. Good to see him scoring after so long out. And Berre then over the top, found Mason Greenwood on the left. He ran inside and got another goal for him, back in the scoring ways now. And Duane Cotillon put the free kick in, and Xerxes got on the end of Lorenzo's header for 4-0. So we got a great win there. We then took on Swansea in the league and thankfully returned to winning ways. You'll start to see that Omar Jana starts to score quite a few goals at this point, but unfortunately it's not the happiest of endings at the end of that run. Bellingham with the ball in, cleared away, but Kane on the volley. You don't stop those. It's 1-0. We then make it 2. Bellingham pushing it out wide to Sazal. He whips it across, and Daniel with another stunning effort from range makes it 2-1. He's really coming into his own, Daniel, in midfield. Kane then out wide to Ambere, nice touch. Shot saved, but Jana, right place, right time for 3-0. And then in the second half, Bellingham keeps the ball in, plays it back to Bernard, and Kenner with the finish for number 4. We disappointingly lose the clean sheet in added time. Lang beating out the defender and then whipping it across for an easy goal for Ryan Fraser. That made it 4-1, but still a really big win. And we then managed to keep our Champions League campaign alive with a 4-2 victory over Eintracht Frankfurt. Obviously, we lost the first game 3-1 away from home, which was unfortunate. And in this game, it looked like we were going to cruise through. Kane with the first goal made it 1-0. Very good finish. And Berre then with a free kick, which Jenna managed to finish for number 2. We then went 3-0 up, and we look absolutely sailing at this point. Bernard puts the ball over, and Ambere made it 3. But then they did get a goal back. Benedetti to So, and Keller tees up Vasilides, and he finishes it off for 3-1. We make it 4. The ball goes in, and Jana gets the follow-up from his own shot for number 4. And then we really throw it away, because remember, the Champions League groups are on a head-to-head basis, and that's a terrible ball, which Benedetti manages to finish after a terrible save from Onana as well. So really disappointing we gave that away, because it means on the head-to-head, Eintracht Frankfurt are ahead of us on away goals. But we did carry on winning despite that. It took a late goal from Jana to give us a win over Sheffield United. Harry Kane got us off the mark with the first in 18 minutes. Kane and Jana were getting into a really good flow around this time, working together up front. Dele Alli put the ball across, and Kane got the finish. Good to see Dele Alli and Kane link up like that. But McColmer to Shaw, he ran round the defender, it came out to McColmer again, and then Duvan with the header past Onana, who's not kept a clean sheet in a while now. Jana then got the late goal, lung throw in, Jana with the finish 5 minutes before time, giving us another crucial 3 points in the Premier League. We then took on Southampton, and despite an early scare just before half time, we managed to turn it around in the first half. We went 1-0 down in the 44th minute and still went in at half time with the lead. Ward-Prowse with the ball in, Lazaro, the former Newcastle player, making it 1-0. Then Kane brings the ball down, tees up Jana beautifully, and he rounds the keeper for 1-1 in the 44th minute as well, or the 45th minute. Both of those goals coming in the 45th minute. Gonçalves then, 49th minute or 50th minute, finds Daniel with the volley for 2-1. So we went 2-1 up in half time. And then Kane plays it through, Jana in behind the keeper. Excellent finish, made it 3-1. Then we start to turn the style on a bit. Sazal's ball in, headed in by Koulibaly for his first goal for Spurs. Sazal's corner again, put in, and that time Jana gets his hat-trick for 5-1 against his former team. And then McCready in the 93rd minute, excellent run, great individual goal, beautiful finish in the top corner for 5-2, and that brings you up to date. And as you can see, we're currently down in 7th in the league, but it's not the end of the world. The league is extremely bunched up. We're only 4 points away from 13th and 4 points away from 2nd, so 8 points separate 2nd and 13th. The trouble is Manchester City are 9 points clear. We've got a big job to turn them around. I think we've got 2 games against City still to come though this season, so it's not impossible that we do turn this around. We're playing them in this episode, and then we play them towards the end of the season. We win those 2 games. The lead at the top is only 3 points, and over, the other 23 games of the season, you'd be able to do that, make up that 3-point gap, given we're on a good winning run. But we need to keep that run going. Our form in the league has been extremely poor. So against Atletico Madrid, we just need to do a really good job. It's funny seeing the league positions here at times. We've been down in 12th place. We've never been in the top 4 this season. So that's a real problem. We're going out there today against Atletico Madrid. As I said, we are in good form. We've got Andre and Kane up front, Neres and Greenwood on the wings, Bellingham and Daniel in the middle, then Bernard, Diaz, Koulibaly and Sazao in defence, Onana in goal. The real sad news is that Jana is out for 4 to 5 months. Every season a striker seems to be out for 5 months or 7 months or however long it tends to be. And Jana is the latest big miss after he just scored on his England debut, and he's got 6 in 11, 10 in 16 in all competitions. Most of the 10 starts, 6 substitute appearances for those 10 goals as well, which is even more impressive. But it means he's gone. It does mean there's a ready-made slot for Esposito when he joins the club. He'll be in that advanced forward role, and it'll be a hard job for Jana, Xerxes, Greenwood or Andre to knock him out of that place. But we need to go out today, and because of that loss to Eintracht Frankfurt, where we gave up the goal advantage, we have to win today. But it doesn't look like we're going to start off well here. Lamar with a free kick, puts it in, and he's found the top corner. You just knew that highlight was going to be a goal, and we are now 1-0 down. We either need Shakhtar to do us a big favour, or we need to beat Atletico Madrid. Otherwise, it's going to be a Europa League campaign for a team who made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League last season. That would be a real blow for us. Now Stedik looking to cause damage. He did in the first leg. Bernard almost got that one away before giving it back to them. And now Lamar, tackled by Ruben Diaz. Very well done. Andre leading the counter, plays it through, and Harry Kane is beyond the defenders, but he can't beat Oblak, and that was our real challenge in the away leg, was beating Jan Oblak. Can we do it today? Neres puts it in, comes to Andre, now Bellingham puts it out wide to Daniel. It slipped in, and Andre has put it wide of the post. How has Andre not finished there? Really poor. He hasn't played much this season, to be fair. He's not going to be in the greatest of match sharpness, but any striker worth their salt should be finishing that chance. Greenwood with a free kick here. It's deep to Daniel. It's in, and it's offside. And you could tell referee and linesman didn't react to that goal very well. And unfortunately, it is offside from Daniel, who's been adding that goal-scoring element to his game. Sazao now with the throw. Puts it into Greenwood. Out to Sazao, but he doesn't bother to go after it in any kind of aggressive way. And now Diallo is in behind on the left flank. He beats the defender easily. He cuts inside, but Onana makes a safe stop. Now Bernard with the throw. Cleared by Ayer, but only to David Neres. He finds Bellingham, and he's put it high and wide as well. Not able to find the top corner there, Bellingham. Halfway through the first half, and we're a goal down, but we are looking like we could score in this game. Greenwood into the middle for David Neres. Cuts inside. He's going on one of those runs, but he's wayward with the shot. The team not getting any of the accuracy of last season into their game, and it's a real problem because we have to win this match. We at least need a draw from this game. And it's going to be a corner from David Neres into Ruben Diaz, and he scores his first goal of the season to bring us back on level terms against Eintracht Frankfurt. I think a draw would be enough because I can't see Eintracht Frankfurt beating Atletico Madrid, so that should mean that so long as we beat Shakhtar Donetsk, we would finish top by 1 point. But if we lose this game and Eintracht win, or Frankfurt win, then we would go out almost irrespective of what happens in the last game of the group. So it has to be a result today. And here's Cucurella, forward to Diallo, comes to Saul, back to Antov, Cucurella again, to Diallo, back to Saul. Need to get that tackle in, and Koulibaly tries that. Oh, excellent determination from the team. And now Andre released on the right. He needs to pick a good pass. He tries. He finds David Neres. Kane is in there, and Harry Kane gets his 10th goal of the season. Not the top scorer this season. Jenna is the top goal scorer, or was the top goal scorer. I think Kane's just pulled level with him on 10 goals. That is a crucial 10th goal from Harry Kane to give us a lead here against Atletico Madrid. We have to win tonight if we're going to get out of this Champions League group, and that was a great way to give us that advantage. We do move up to second place in the group, at least temporarily. But this actually gives us a chance. I think if we win this game, we give ourselves control of our destiny, because we could, in theory, if Eintracht Frankfurt beat Atletico Madrid, we could win and finish above Atletico Madrid. Now, Eintracht Frankfurt have taken the lead against Shakhtar. That makes our job a little bit harder. I think we have to kind of see out a win today. Otherwise, we're hoping that results go in our favour in the last game, as Daniel gets past everybody except for Jan Oblak. This group is going to be so well poised. But I think we need another goal. Otherwise, head-to-head against Atletico Madrid is not in our favour either, as Greenwood puts it in. Bellingham on the volley gets us another goal. It's now 3-1, and a really big result, this one potentially. We need to make sure we see the game out, but that's a stunning finish from Jude Bellingham. Only his second of the season so far, but definitely his best. Look at that volley. Past the keeper, good height on the ball, and he's made it 3-1. Now, there's not a huge amount of time left here in a very difficult game. As the ball goes forward, Daniel picks it up. He plays it over to Bellingham. Ball out wide to David Neres, who can cause trouble. He runs inside, and unfortunately, he drags the effort wide of the goal. Lamar with a corner. Saul is in there, and it's Christopher Ayer who gets the finish. That makes it 3-2, and life is becoming more difficult by the moment because we don't have a huge amount of time left. But I think as it stands, this head-to-head is not really in our favour against Atletico Madrid or against Eintracht Frankfurt. And obviously if they draw, we get knocked out. So this is very poorly poised for us at the moment. Neres can't get the ball in. Saul puts it forward. Macias, our former player, has it. It's played over the top for another of our former players, Fabio Silva. And unfortunately, he's offside and can't end my dream of a Champions League knockout stage place just yet. Now I'm going to bring Xerxes on and swap him with Andre and see if he can do anything in the last 5 minutes. We could do another goal really with 5 minutes to go, but I'll take the win if it's on offer. We've got a chance here. Koulibaly with a free kick. Just need to make sure we don't concede. Can he play in one of the wingers here? They're playing a 3-5-2, I think. Andre's got the ball. He is in behind. He's got options. He pulls it back to Bellingham. It's blocked. Cleared away. And now we're at risk. It's several on two. We've got another man back. Foul off the ball, which is brazen. Unfortunately, Fabio Silva can't get the finish. But time pretty much up. It's a 3-2 win. And it's possible that we've just been knocked out. Let's have a look at what they're saying in the news. No, we're not knocked out just yet. So what are the ramifications here? I think we've got a bad head-to-head against both teams. We know we have against Eintracht Frankfurt. 2-1 away from home defeat means that the away goals rule is in favour of Atletico Madrid as well. So we have a bad head-to-head against both teams. If we win, we have 12 points. One of these teams has to finish with less than 12 points. So a draw would see us qualify over Eintracht Frankfurt. A win for Atletico would see us qualify over Eintracht Frankfurt. A win for Eintracht Frankfurt would see us knocked out irrespective. So our fate no longer in our own hands. We have a job to do against Shakhtar. We have to give them that royal flush of 6 defeats and knock them out with the wooden spoon. But we have to hope Atletico Madrid don't screw up in that final game and get beaten. So a lot riding on that final Champions League group stage match. I'm wondering if that's the next game we do actually. Although I don't think it matters too much because it's not that game itself that matters, it's the aftermath that matters. So what we'll do is we'll stick with the plan. We'll take on top of the league Manchester City because we have to win this game. Otherwise the title moves 12 points away from us and there's no way we're getting it back. So that's a must-win game at home against Man City. So I'll see you in just a moment for that game. Well, the winning run is continuing with a 2-0 victory over Leicester. Leicester, one of the teams that are doing quite well this season, in the mixer with us. So handing them a defeat at this stage is a really good statement that we are planning to move up the table and really cement that position in the top 5 or top 4 positions. Lorenzo got the first goal after half an hour. A couple of injuries in this game, but then Koulibaly with a long throw rolled around a bit before Xerxes off the bench got the finish for the second. Unfortunately, there were a couple of injuries in this game. Cesar's out for 3 weeks, Andre's out for 3 weeks. And that means today we're going to be starting out with Xerxes and Greenwood up front because Harry Kane is also struggling after playing pretty much every minute of the season. Bellingham is struggling, Bernard is struggling, lots of players struggling with a lack of rotation options really. But they're going to have to struggle through it today. We're going to have Neres and Ambere, Kenner and Daniel, and then Bernard, Diaz, Lorenzo and Lazala in defence. Onana in goal for this one. We've even got Stuart Bollen on the bench, who's a youngster that I promoted to the first team in the summer. First time that he's appeared on the bench this season, so we might get a cheeky debut if we're winning comfortably, but I think that's unlikely against this Manchester City team that at the moment are running away with our Premier League title. We are the champions, but I certainly don't feel like we're champions right now. It feels like that Premier League winning season never happened. But Greenwood with the free kick into Ruben Diaz, onto Daniel, and we have taken the lead. The champions lead the pretenders 1-0. If we want to win the Premier League again this season, which looks quite an ask at this point, beating Man City today is a huge statement of intent. It will close the lead at the top down to just 6 points. And then, of course, if we beat them in the second game this season, it's a 3-point gap between us and City that we need to make up in the other games. And I think that that's a gap we could theoretically close as Bernard puts this long throw in. We're in good form. Comes out to Kenner. Into Xerxes. It's off the post and he's offside anyway. That felt like he was offside when he hit it. And it turns out that he was, but I'd like to see Xerxes get a few goals now. Greenwood's getting a rare start up front as well. Neres puts it in, cleared away. Greenwood just left me really disappointed. He was almost one of the casualties of that terrible run. Could well have been sold earlier this season. He's got the ball now. Big tackles go in, but it's still broken for City, and they've played it over the top for Boadu, one of the hottest properties in world football right now, Boadu. But he's not been able to finish that opportunity, and now it's a corner from Bernardo Silva. Out by Daniel. Boadu then loses it. David Neres sticking the boot in there to get that ball out. Very good desire from the team. And it's funny what you can pick up in this match engine. There's been a few tackles this season. Oh, he's offside. There's been a few tackles this season, in the last few games at least, where you can see there's a lot more determination and desire in the team. And it's not something you notice until you have a bad run of results. And then those tackles aren't happening. And when you start to turn it into a winning run, they come back. Kenner there, not far off, hitting the side netting / the post. Lazala with the long throw. Greenwood's in there, but Edison, much like Alisson, doesn't let those long throws get too close to his goal. He's too aware of how many we score from that approach, and the ball's been played forward to Lautaro Martinez. He goes out wide to Okafor, a player that I've looked to sign, and he's given it away to Greenwood. Now David Neres charging into the penalty area, and it's blocked by the defender. Neres keeps it alive, but then is ultimately tackled. And going in towards half time, we are by far the better team in this match. Can we keep this up at least until half time? I was going to say till the end of the game, but just till half time would do right now. Bernardo Silva back to Fabian, through to Lautaro, and a good stop by Onana to force that one around the post. So Daniel giving us the lead at the moment. It's a massive lead over Manchester City. As the corner goes in, Neres has his corner whipped over the top of the bar by Ruben Diaz. We're not far away here. If we keep playing like we have been, we will get a good result today. A few players might need to come out. I'm thinking particularly Diaz on that yellow card. I can't bring the new guy on just yet. Let's bring Kenner on and we'll drop Bellingham in now. I know he needs a break, but today is not the day. Bernard could also do with a break, and Gonzalez has done reasonably well when he's come on so far this season, so he can come on for a little bit of experience against the team trying to steal our title. I might also take David Neres off if we have an option in that position. I don't want to put Harry Kane out there. Who do we have on the bench? We have Henrique. Don't really want to take Daniel off though. I think we're just going to have to see the game out with the team that we've got now, even though they're tired. We are heading towards December. It's only going to get worse, so the team just need to kind of suck it up a little bit after the poor start to the season. It looks like we might do it here against Man City. 3 minutes of added time left on the clock. It's running out, and City have been stonewalled in a 1-0 defeat. That is massive for our confidence, for our season, and potentially for our title defence. That's a massive, massive win. It puts us in the top 4 for the first time this season. It's been a big turnaround from as low as 12th to make it up into 4th place. We're now only 6 points off the title. If that defeat knocks, a little domino effect for Manchester City, we're only 2 points behind second and third, and City, another defeat for them, they drop down, and that gap becomes just 3 points, and it's all to play for in the title race at that point. But we need to keep this run going. It's been a good run now, over a month of winning games, and we've got an opportunity to keep that going. So our next big match is Manchester United, just before we sign Fati and Esposito. And even after that, look at Fati and Esposito's run of games. That's massive. A huge opportunity now to go on a massive winning run and turn around our season. And it continues for some time, actually. Other than the United and Arsenal game, it's not until we play City in March that we've got a major challenge. Tough end to the season, but we've got a real opportunity here to do some damage. So do drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this one. I probably won't pick up till this end of the season, and then we bring in Fati and Esposito. If we get knocked out, you'll know why we've been knocked out, and it's completely out of our hands in the Champions League. So you'll find out either way there. That game against Shakhtar, we have to win it, but it's not really up to... Well, we only have to draw it, actually. We basically have to hope that there is a defeat for Eintracht Frankfurt. Otherwise, we're getting knocked out of the Champions League either way. So you'll find out in the next episode how we get on. But we'll pick up against United and probably against Norwich for the debut of Esposito and Fati. But do drop a like down below if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, see ya!